So me, me with my writing self, this is easy. So me kick it off. Scholars have different understandings about sex, and such there is no set definition for it. Their personal opinions guide how they view it. Christian philosophers like Aquinas say that sex is the ability to use the male penis to implant sperm into the female's vagina for the purpose of effecting procreation. Based on this definition, masturbation could not be sex. Could not be. But watch I know. He states that God designed the human body to be able to carry out these specific functions. While masturbation is defined as the self-stimulation of the sex organs, most often to the point of orgasms, according to the Catechism of Catholic Church, masturbation is one of the offenses against chastity and calls it an intrinsically and gravely disordered action because use of sexual facility for whatever reason outside or contrary to its purpose. And this is in Benedict, my source. On the other hand, masturbation can be viewed as a sexual activity but not sex. The act of masturbation is performed by at least 80% of human beings, resulting in numerous opinions for and against masturbation. There are various advantages of performing the act of masturbation. With the exclusion of religious beliefs, masturbation can be good for your health and a substitute for sexual pleasure without performing the act of sexual intercourse. That are the first, that are the first part, when you write paper, you have to start off with like a little intro, like you know, pick no side yet. You just make up something for see, for like feel out before you start write. So, second paragraph now. According to Karl Marx, you can't leave out Karl Marx in nothing we have to do with psychology. According to Karl Marx, philosophy stands in the same relation to the study of the actual world as masturbation is to sexual love. Karl Marx, 2007. The act of masturbation manages to be a very controversial activity in the philosophical realm, with numerous opinions for and against it. Philosophers such as Mark Twain famously quoted in one of his lectures, "If you gamble away your sexual life, don't play a lone hand too much." In Twain's day, medicine was beginning to separate itself from religious doctrine. The doctors would no longer claim that those guilty of masturbation will be punished, but did warn against the harmful effects of self-pleasuring at the time, which was a lie. People did believe say masturbation did wrong, People out there did actually think it wrong. The medical warnings at the time was still stemmed from their religious beliefs. Christian philosophers such as Immanuel Kant posits that masturbation is worse than suicide. Chatty my chat. Me beat my meat and I know me not dead. I never feel like I want to kill myself yet. He believes it is a violation of moral law and therefore it should not be practiced. In the book titled Metaphysics of Morals in 1797, he made an argument stating that everyone upon thinking of it as a violation of one's duty to himself. Kant regards masturbation as being immoral and describes the act as an unnatural use of sexual organs. He believes a person gives up their sexual personality when they use themselves as a means of gratification of an animal drive. Them people that did a fight out back fist. Them man that did a fight out back fist. And them never did a go win. Because when me see that essay, I say, me have to write this. Me have to think, me have to write this. Because them people did a fight out back fist. But I'm me write the paper, yeah. And the religious people, them did a fight out back fist too. You see it? Psychology class. Masturbation psychology class. I say psychology class. Masturbation. Cause me I go read that whole paper yeah. Me I read that whole paper yeah. Fight them a fight out back fist, but me nah make them fight out back fist. Cause back fist important for man and woman. You see it? What about the people who are addicted? Wait, let me get there. It's an essay. You know, you have to start with philosophers and then you have to use them people. You can't just jump in it. Because you have to see it from a religious point and a moral point first. So, Christians during this time period used biblical scriptures as a reason to oppose masturbation. Christians interpreted the story of Onan in Genesis 38, verses 3 to 10. The New King James Version, because of that we read, it states that Onan was given a command by God through his father Judah to go into your brother's wife and marry her and raise up a heir to your brother. Onan went into his brother's wife. He did. Onan went into his brother's wife, but you know what? He emitted on the ground. So you know what that means? That means that Onan beat the skin. Onan fuck the brother wife. God tell him go fuck him brother wife. And Onan fuck him brother wife and pull out. I Bible is a come out, I know. Onan beat him brother wife. God tell him fuck your brother wife and make sure say your brother get a ear. But you know what Onan do? Onan come pan the ground. Yeah, man. This is in the Bible, man. Onan pull out. So people, God say you know if you pull out. God, in the Bible, say it's illegal to pull out a pussy. Don't pull out a pussy. And it's the righteous son. Genesis 38, verses 3 to 10. In the King James Version, Onan was given a command by God through his father Judah. Go into your brother's wife and marry her and raise up an heir to your brother. Onan went into his brother's wife and emitted on the floor. You know, for pull out on a pussy. This displeased God and he was slayed. You hear that? This displeased God and he was slayed. Christians interpret emitted on the ground as Onan wasting his sperm and not impregnating his brother's wife. Therefore, they use this scripture to discourage masturbation, saying that it's forbidden by God. This story was the forefront of why masturbation is bad and came to prominence in 1712. In 1712, when a conman by the name of John Martin published a book titled Onania, or the Heinous Sin of Self-Pollution and All Its Frightful Consequences in Both Sexes. The book became a hit and he turned into a surgeon and sold remedies for the ills of masturbation. Wow. Wow, this man is a scammer. He's a scammer and it worked. Physicians started describing masturbation as the root of disease, dysfunction, and poor character. And children of the time were threatened with horrible fates if they engaged in it. Not now, can me beat this meter? Hey. The topic of masturbation began to get too complex in that era that philosopher Freud had his opinions about masturbation, but recognized that early masturbation and the feelings and the events surrounding it was an introduction to one's sexuality. Eventually, Freud stated in 1912 Symposium of Masturbation that he thinks the time has come to break off, for all we agreed upon one thing. The subject of masturbation is quite inexhaustible. Masturbation in this era was never accepted by a lot of philosophers as a norm, and as such, was the belief that it should not be practiced. However, due to an increase in medical knowledge and better understanding of the act of masturbation, has become socially accepted in the coming years. See, sister, masturbation, them they used to fight out this back fisting early in at the time. Early in at the time. Early in at the time, them used to fight out this back fisting. With the recent advancement in technology since the 21st century, we see where the act of masturbation is encouraged rather than discouraged. Masturbation is now described as a safer form of sex that carries no risk of sexually transmitted diseases or unplanned pregnancy. People out there, young people, teenagers, if you don't want to breed, if you don't want to catch nothing, go back your fist or play with your clit. Go play with your clit. Left them young boy there alone. Them will give things. Them will give things. Safe. Individuals are now encouraged to become more familiar with one's sexual responses as it helps them to communicate their wants and needs to their partners. According to the Better Health Channel, there are numerous health benefits of masturbating. It relaxes your muscles, helps you to fall asleep. There are reduces stress, enhances self-esteem, make you confident. It make you confident. And produces endorphins, which causes the feeling of physical and mental well-being. You see, it make you feel good. Yeah, man. Nobody don't know you like your hand and your private part. Nobody. The views of masturbation started to sway from the orthodox views held by many philosophers in the 1960s and 70s, when a publication of the Masters and Johnson research from the Kinsley Institute revealed that it was harmless and very common among people. The publication stated that masturbation is neither a substitute to real sex nor a facilitator for risky sex. A number of the advantages of masturbation had later surfaced, such as the act enhances both orgasmic capacity and condom use. Recent studies have also shown that educated people masturbate more than and have better sex. And you hear that? I have to read it again, I have to read it again. Recent studies have shown, this is something when I did, so one paper when I did write, when I know, I just fax me put another paper here. Recent studies have also shown that educated people masturbate more and have better sex lives than those who do not. And also there is a medical fact that masturbation reduces the possibility of prostate cancer amongst men. And a joke thing, and I don't feel like a play thing. I want a serious paper this when I did write. But I'm sure. There is a wide gap between male and female masturbation according to recent studies. It was revealed that approximately 95% of men has masturbated to an orgasm before the age of 20, in comparison to a female 60%. This could be as a result of numerous reasons, such as males have much higher sex drive and also how the male and females are culturalized socially. For example, males are socialized to be self-reliant and to constantly search for sexual pleasure, while females, on the other hand, should be more dependent on males and not themselves. This is just socially. You're not supposed to stay so, but I just saw it go. The act of masturbation is now seen as a way in which an individual can get to know their bodies, figure out what they like and dislike, prevent the urges of cheating on their partners, promote abstinence, and provide each partner with information on how to best please each other respectively. Vital. Come like a class when you join. When you just join the class. Because I not done till me think. I not done till me stop. Although masturbation is not sex, According to the definition and according to philosophers, it is practiced by couples on each other. This act is called mutual masturbation. You know, we call that foreplay and them thing there. According to the Urban Dictionary, mutual masturbation is when two people, either of the opposite sex or same sex, get to the mind out of the gutter. Get to the mind out of the gutter. We are big people now, either the opposite or the same sex, touching each other's genitals for pleasure or orgasm. Mutual masturbation also consists of different types, such as non-contact, contact group, a non-contact group, and mutual masturbation slash foreplay. Remember, I stop reasoning out the thing. If I just read it, so let us read it then. The social acceptance of the act has led to it being monetized by numerous developers of sex toys and the creation of pornographic materials, film, so viewers can watch and be able to masturbate. Porn sites are available on the World Wide Web, in which people can access porn videos or order sex toys. The use of sex toys is more common among females, such as dildos, the squish vibrator, and the Le Wand Petite. For males, there is the slip and the zig lubricator, the glass dildo. Man, I laugh. And the Cobra Libre 2. Boy, I don't want to know about the Cobra Libre 1. Much less learn about the 2. All these objects are made for the purpose of pleasuring oneself without actually committing sexual intercourse. The support of masturbation in today's society has a far reach on how individuals perceive sex. Although masturbation is not sex, there is a view that sexual activity could be considered to be mutual masturbation. This is seen as activities such as a hand job. A hand job is masturbation, which is given to a male by their partner, or oral sex, which can be given to the male or female by their respective partners. Both activities do not involve penetration of the penis into the vagina or the anus, but an orgasm can be obtained by participating in such acts. For scholars who do not support masturbation, questioning homosexuality is next in line to be examined. Can't believe people there, so I read this. Yo, all them people are looking interested, you fuck. Yo. People there, I read this, you fuck. How many of this now? Alright. People are looking interested. Who interested? Tell me if you're interested. If you don't interested me, I'm gonna stop reading it. Oh, okay, them tell me for read. Alright, me continue. Females do not have a penis to penetrate each other, nor can a vagina be used to penetrate another vagina. With that being said, masturbation should not be discredited as a sexual act. It might not be sexual intercourse by definition, but it is practiced and will not evade society anytime soon. The concern among individuals nowadays is not whether they should masturbate or not, but how often they should masturbate, or if they are masturbating too much. These are regular questions that are received by medical officials, and the responses vary, but it is quite common for an individual to masturbate multiple times per day. Do your thing. Rub it. Are yours. Although some early philosophers did not promote masturbation, it is evident that it was still practiced, and they could not come to a consensus as to if it is wrong or right. There are popular persons who spoke on the matter who are not philosophers. However, they were not against masturbation, such as Julio Caesar, everybody knows that, Emperor of Rome, who said in one of his famous commentaries, masturbation, to the lonely it is company, to the forsaken it is a friend, to the aged and impotent it is a benefactor. They that be peniles are yet rich, in that they have majestic diversions. They have this majestic diversion. Him saying that it works is not a book. It's actually one essay when we did write. And Julius Caesar said this. Queen Elizabeth says it is the bulwark of virginity. That's what Queen Elizabeth said about masturbation. And this is brainpickings.org 2018. Masturbation will always be seen in the eyes of certain individuals as a wrong act that should not be practiced, but the number of individuals against the act is falling, and there is also no law put in place to stop masturbation. Whether or not an individual chooses to practice masturbation is within their personal belief, and most time it is for religious reasons. In the biblical era, it was seen as morally wrong, lustful, wasting sperm, and preventing reproduction. But in the 21st century, it is seen as a sexual act that is fun and can also be healthy. It is now even recommended